Can I just say, this is why Makarov is truly a G, and still to this day one of my faves in Fairy Tail. Yeah, he's the old dude that is powerful as shit and does the epic things, but like, finding out what we found out in this chapter in regards to why he disbanded Fairy Tail, what his motives were, and just what he did in between this time, where he went. Makarov for the win. Like, this is why in Tenro, I was like, that was one of my favorite moments when he grabbed Loki and he was letting his children escape or whatever. Makarov is a fucking boss. So for starters, in the beginning of this chapter, we get Mess Glider showing Erza the secrets of Fairy Tail, Lumen Histoire, this incredibly crazy secret, and to this day I still find it funny that at the end of the day, Lumen Histoire, while it's a lot grander than it, ultimately when anybody sees it, it's a naked lowly in a jar. Like, Hiromashima, people. But in all seriousness, the only thing about this chapter that I kind of felt a little bit like, was when everybody found out what Lumen Histoire is, like the main characters of Fairy Tail, you know, Natsu, Gray, and all that. Like, I think the mystique that was built up until this point in regards to Lumen Histoire should have been intact. I think it should have just been Erza, and maybe at some given point Natsu found out as well, because it was just like this big secret that nobody knew, and now a large amount of people aside from the guild masters know about this. It's kind of like, I would have liked for Natsu maybe just at the most, aside from Erza, to find out about this, but like Wendy and all these other people, it's like it takes away from, like, you know, the secret, this well-guarded secret that for so long nobody's known, and it's like, yeah, now everyone knows. But finding out more about Doran Bolt and his mission and whatnot, it kind of adds like this whole new threat that we have, that we found out in this chapter, this big kingdom and whatnot. I like the fact that the new threat, because like Hiro, if you notice, he likes to, okay, we get Zeref and we get a big thing, and then we'll get like this big arc, and it might wrap into Zeref, it might not, but the fact that this is not like, oh, this new villain that came out of nowhere, I really like the way that Hiro incorporated it into like different events. It's like, okay, Doran Bolt's mission all along was in regards to this. Makarov, why he disbanded Fairy Tail, is in regards to this. Face, Ethery, and like all of these things was connected in some way to that, so it definitely adds a greater value to the new threat that's coming, instead of it just being like, oh hey, there's this guild that we never talked about, but yeah, they're here to kick ass. It's like, this is something that's been built up. Even if he just like put these pieces together little by little, ultimately it feels like, okay, so this is something that comes from the story that we've been reading up until this point. I ain't gonna lie though, when they were saying, oh, the western continent and whatnot, I immediately thought of Dark Continent from Hunter x Hunter, but this Arbaless place or whatnot, it sounds like it's a pretty big threat, I ain't gonna lie. Although, the way Makarov was describing it and whatnot, at the end of the day, okay, there's 730 guilds there, and there's about 500 over here, and he was saying as though they're all gonna attack, and it's only gonna be Fairy Tail. At the end of the day, let's be real here, all the other guilds are going to back up as well. Just like when they fought the dragons and everybody was sticking together, a lot of these guilds will fight back too. So it's not like it would just be only Fairy Tail combating them, but I guess Makarov didn't want a chance that everyone in Ishtar aren't going to help out or whatever. And not to mention the fact that they would only mainly be targeting Fairy Tail because their big goal is Lumen Histoire. They want to get their hands on that. So whatever the hell this power that, you know, this body of Mavis has and whatnot, it's something out of this world that a kingdom of 730 guilds is willing to invade and do all this crazy shit to get their hands on it. And again, the fact that like Face was one of the defense mechanisms they had, and also Ethery, and like all those things that he incorporated into it, it like makes so much sense. Like, okay, this is why we haven't seen this threat up until this point, Arbaless, because like they were kind of skeptical of invading, especially after 10 years ago when they got, you know, blocked off or whatnot. But now that those defenses are gone, boom, threat. So definitely the way Hiro tailored this one in is like, it feels a lot better than like him just throwing some bullshit in. It's like, it ties very nicely. And honestly, just the ending with Makarov saying, I'm doing this for my family, and like, think about it for a second, this one old little motherfucker is going to an entire kingdom and army threatening them like, yo, we have this weapon right here, you come and you fuck with us, you're done, just so that he could stall some time and, you know, at the end of the day, save his family or whatnot. Like, awesome shit on Makarov. Altogether, this chapter, very good stuff, getting the flashback, learning more about Doran Bolt and how, you know, his whole mission came to be. Honestly, it was just very nicely done. And with all that being said, 8 out of 10 for this chapter. Again, very good stuff, really liked it. I think the fact that this new threat sounds like it's a very big deal, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with the Dark Guilds, because a lot of the times it was always just like, oh, all these Dark Guilds, you know, we had this one and that one, and then it led up to Tartarus. It's like, okay, that part is done now. We already faced those, and then we had like, I think the arc that we just previously finished and whatnot with Avatar and whatnot, I think it was to showcase the Dark Guilds part is done. Like, Avatar was the last of the Crusties or whatever, they were bowing down, but that part is done. Now we have an actual different type of threat, and seems pretty serious. I mean, at the end of the day, Makarov disbanded, Fairy Tail said, fuck the history, I'm trying to protect my kids. Yeah, but let me know what you guys think. First of all, do you think that Makarov made a silly decision going over there by himself? I mean, that was a boss shit, I ain't gonna lie. Like, going over there by himself saying, we got a weapon, you keep it up, we're gonna do some shit. So, that was pretty cool as well. And also, what do you think about everyone finding out the secret to Lumen Histoire? Again, wasn't too keen on that necessarily because it was like this big secret, and I wish it would have been kept a little bit more, especially the fact that Erza was chosen, so let it at least be Erza and then maybe one other person, but everyone finding out, what do you think about that? And your overall thoughts of the chapter, very good setup for something very good to come, hopefully. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like, I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that'd be amazing. I'm FNEverworld, and as always people, have an awesome day.